Hello, I'm Jason Bates, editor of Via Satellite Magazine, and joining me today is Dave Bettinger, CTO of iDirect. Dave, thank you for your time.
Thank you for that.
iDirect had a pretty good 2010. Can you tell me about some of the big accomplishments for your company in the past year?
Sure, Jason. iDirect did very well in 2010. We met all of our financial goals for the year, even in a very difficult economic situation. We showed particularly strong growth in a number of key vertical areas, including maritime, U.S. government, DoD applications, as well as cellular backhaul and some of the other key verticals that we typically go after. In addition to that, we've been working hard on our technology to try and introduce some of the new features that we have coming up in our roadmap this year. We are happy to pre-launch at this show our IDX 3.0 platform. With IDX 3.0, we'll be introducing for the first time SCPC and TDMA connectivity to be able to allow a network operator to be able to switch back and forth between SCPC and TDMA to further optimize his applications, his bandwidth utilization, as well as to offer more revenue-generating services that he can offer his end customers.
Okay. So what other business challenges does this address?
So SCPC and TDMA have coexisted for years, and there's always been a bit of a religious fervor in choosing between SCPC and TDMA. Our goal is to simply to be able to provide the best access on both sides and be able to offer the customer to switch back and forth between them. The business needs that we are seeing that are driving our need for this particular feature is twofold. One, it's the use of on-demand type connectivity, such as video conferencing or the ability to send large files back from remote locations. Those type of applications typically will go better over an SCPC channel that is being fully utilized for the time it's being used for the file transfer, and then switching back to a TDMA system for the on-demand thing. We're also seeing a number of different situations where a cellular operator, for instance, is going to be using satellite for their cellular backhaul, and they will initially choose TDMA for the majority of the sites to be able to share the bandwidth amongst all the sites. When a particular cell site goes above a certain utilization rate, or ERLANGs as they call them in the industry, they would switch it to an SCPC channel to be able to take advantage of the bandwidth efficiencies that SCPC offers for the fully utilized channel.
Okay, so what impact is this going to have on your operators' efficiencies? Because that's a big buzzword these days.
It is, and so obviously at iDirect we focus quite a bit on bandwidth efficiency. It's probably the number one thing that we spend our time researching and trying to offer innovative solutions to our customer base. For our customer base, the network operators, satellite bandwidth is by far the largest capital expenditure or recurring expense that they have, and certainly they want to do whatever they can to reduce to increase the efficiency. So what this allows the operators to do is to be able to take a look at different technologies, be efficient, take a look at the different efficiency on the technologies, and choose the right one that matches the applications that they're trying to utilize. We're seeing good use cases for a transition from SCPC to TDMA on oil rigs, for instance. For the majority of the time, the users on the oil rigs would utilize a TDMA return channel system to be able to do back office applications, internet access, voice over IP calls. However, when there's a situation where they have drilling data or something that they need to send back large files, sometimes gigabytes of files, to send back to their engineers back at the headquarters, they would schedule an SCPC link, switch the remote over. One of our Evolution Series remotes can easily be switched from TDMA to SCPC, send the data, and be able to use the most efficient channel there, and then switch it back. So really it's efficiency and flexibility that allows our customer base to choose the right technologies and the right applications that make sense for the service that they're trying to offer. They can also go into some new revenue generating areas. Customers that have been traditionally using TDMA as their return channel technology can consider offering their end users an SCPC solution without having to learn a new platform. They would stick with the iDirect Evolution platform. They wouldn't have to get trained on any particular new aspects of the platform. They wouldn't have to have separate modems in stock. So there's actually some real business efficiencies that come along with the flexibility of choosing TDMA or SCPC through the NMS and not having to choose it in the base technology.
Okay, and you specifically cited oil and gas, but obviously we're talking across many markets as well as regions around the globe.
That's correct. We've seen the use cases for SCPC, the SCPC return channel in addition to TDMA, coming from a number of different verticals and pretty much all geographic areas of the world. Certainly when you're talking about oil and gas and energy and mining, those type of applications, typically you will find those either in the middle of oceans or in some very remote lands that are difficult to get to with terrestrial connectivity. So that's always been a very strong foothold for VSAT technology. And again, those are in all areas of the globe where they are looking for resources. We're also seeing it in other non-geographic type of markets, such as in the military and US DoD and other DoD applications. There's a growing need for being able to get high definition video, surveillance video from the field, either on UAVs or other type of applications, where they would want to use SCPC as a higher throughput, more efficient channel while they're sending the video back and then using TDMA in the downtimes in between sessions. So it goes across pretty much all geographic and most of the vertical type of applications that we're providing today.
Okay, so what's in store for iDirect for the remainder of 2011 then?
2011, we're looking for a very strong year. We think we have seen and understood the impacts of the global economic crisis that started to hit us in 2008. We didn't see many of those impacts in 2009. 2010, we started to see some of the impact, especially in Africa. We think that the economy got caught up, the bad economy caught up with them, Africa last year, and as a result we saw some not as many new orders as we would have expected. We see that starting to transition this year, and we actually have a strong backlog. We're heading into this year expecting to grow all of regions that we operate in. The Americas, certainly North America has been a stronghold for us. South America, we've had some very good business down there, and we hope to try and leverage that, especially in Brazil. In Europe and Eastern and Western Europe, always a strong area for business for us, because a lot of the teleports covering some of the areas in Africa and Middle East come out of Europe, so a lot of our customers purchase there. And again, a strong year for Middle East and Africa. The area we're expecting a very large amount of growth out this year is Asia. We kicked it off several years ago, created a subsidiary called iDirect Asia. That is now up and running fully. We saw some really good growth out of them last year, and we hope to leverage it this year. In addition to the geographic growth, we expect to leverage our investment in a proxy board that we have formed around our iDirect Government Technologies subsidiary, which allows us to operate in a top secret programs with IGT while we have foreign ownership for the company. So we're excited about that coming into place, and we think we can actually go after some top secret programs to leverage that.
Thank you very much for your time today. This has been Dave Bettinger of iDirect. This has been Jason Bates, editor of Via Satellite Magazine. Thank you.